Hey, what's up guys? This is Dan from the 4x4 podcast, and I'm going to do a little unboxing video of my new ham radio that I just received from Amazon today. So let's get into it here. This is a radio made by VGC, and I'll have a link to everything on the comments or in the details of the video here below. And this radio is a 50-watt unit. This is a ham radio. And because I quickly ran into the limits of the 5-watt Bofang radio that I've been using. Life here in Alaska is spread out, and I felt like ham radio was a necessary safety measure to be able to travel in the backcountry safely with myself, small groups, and with family. So, wanted to step up to a higher power radio. So this unit, let's see, as we get into it, here we have the GPS and APRS unit. Got, looks like a data connection cables and some more micro USB cable and the BTG-6600 Alpha 1. This is the control module for everything. It's in one box. The next box here is the GPS antenna, it looks like. And then another data cable to connect everything. So one of the benefits of this is obviously the APRS, which is the, I'm sure somebody who's been a ham radio operator for longer will correct me, but that's the automatic packet reporting system, or automated packet reporting. Anyways, what it lets you do is send text messages, receive text messages, and also broadcast your location, which is something that is very important to us as off-roaders who use ham radio not necessarily as a hobby, more so as a tool to accomplish our mission of traveling safety. So here we have the package from VGT. It's a pretty heavy box, but on the box you can see here we have 1,000 channel memory, clear voice. Hopefully that means it's got a good microphone built in. GPS, has Bluetooth built in so that you can actually show the locations of the other people in your group and other people using APRS in your area. You can see that on a cell phone or a tablet that you connect to the radio through Bluetooth, and it gives you the crossband repeater function so that if you park your vehicle, you can leave the radio on, go out and use your handy-talkie handheld radio and actually extend the range, 5 watts back to your 50-watt unit and out to the repeaters. So that is one of the benefits that I was really excited to try this out. And the model number for this is the VR-6600PRO from Vero Telecom. And this is a Chinese-made radio, and it has some similar units made by Kenwood, I believe. But this is a very, a new brand to the marketplace. It's been untested. So I'm going to give it a shot. It was significantly cheaper than the Kenwood counterpart. So hopefully it works out. If not, then I guess we can send it back. So first off, we have the operating manual. This is all in English, 33 pages. Looks to have some pretty good details. We'll get into that more later. Here we have the microphone, the hand mic, and some other things. And it has a telephone connector rather than like with the Bofang radio, it plugs into the side of the radio. And This is the first mobile radio that I've had, so I don't know if this is the standard connector that you would normally find. But it feels like it's built pretty well. Just the initial feel doesn't feel cheap, like it's going to fall apart, so that's a good sign. We have a suction cup mount, presumably for the detached control module, because the radio itself, the box, is mounted remotely. I'll probably put that under the passenger seat or something like that, and then have the control module up on the dash where I can see it and access all the functions. We've got some mounting hardware, a couple 5 amp, these are 15 amp fuses. And we have the power connector. I don't know how many feet of power cord we have, but it's a pretty good amount. It has a T connector. And we also have a pretty good length of data connection, so I assume this is probably to connect the main radio box to the head unit. Then on the other side, we have the actual control module. There you go. So, and the initial feel is that the knobs feel pretty sturdy. We'll see how it does after sitting in the sunshine and the extreme cold that we have here in Alaska. Just this morning it was 4 degrees and it is November 3rd, so it's going to get a lot colder. Next we have a mounting bracket. Based on size, I assume this is probably for the main radio box. I'll tear into it later. We have a fan here with looks like maybe a little relay, a solid state relay, and a connector. So without getting into the instructions, I assume the relay senses when there's power going to the radio and it automatically kicks on the fan to help cool. Probably the radio itself, 50 watts, is pretty good power, so probably gets pretty warm. Now here we've got where that T connector, the power connector, connects, and it already has two 15 amp fuses, one on the negative cable and one on the positive. We've got the standard antenna connector, so I'll have to probably upgrade to a better antenna to get the most benefit out of this radio. It also has the data connection and a line in and an external speaker. So there's a couple, looks like there's a speaker cutout here on the radio itself, but then there's also two speakers on the control module. So we'll see how well it can hear it when we're cruising down the trails in my Jeep, which is not quiet at all. And then on the other side of the box, the radio here, we have the mic input and the control input. So those two wires will go off to the mic. Looks like we also have a connector. Okay, so both wires come out from the radio. Looks like probably connects to the control. And somewhere a fan is supposed to mount on here. We'll see. The casing is really heavy duty. This is, I don't know, this weighs probably 5 pounds. It's pretty heavy. This casing is really hard. So I'm looking forward to getting this installed in the Jeep and trying out, see how it performs. Again, this is the Vero Telecom Corporation's VR-6600PRO series with the APRS and GPS module and also Bluetooth. So should be pretty fun to get installed and try out. So be sure to follow us on Facebook at the 4x4 podcast, and Also, we're on Instagram. I'm going to have links to this, Twitter, and of course, subscribe to the 4x4 podcast at 4x4podcast.com/subscribe, and you can just search for us on iTunes. So thanks for checking out the unboxing of this brand new ham radio.